The Acropolis, definitely one of those must-see when you are in Athens. You will not quite be prepared for the impact of the structure when you physically and actively and in person go and see it. I have to say I was surprised at the power, if you will, of the structure of this main entrance to the main Parthenon and the different temples. Yeah, it's really something spectacular to think that this is something like 3,000 years ago, almost 3,000 years ago this was built. You could say that this is the birthplace of our Western democracy, and certainly a very high point in mankind's civilization. I have seen so many photographs, so many pictures, pieces and clips and movies of this, of these monuments, these temples, and nothing quite compares to seeing it in person. There's an impact, you could almost say an energy of the living history of man that put this together that still exists. I think because of the architectural beauty, the symbology, just the pure brass that it took to come up with this concept and build these structures. You don't see it now, but it was super high winds, almost like an F4 and F5 when we were up here. You might be able to see it on some of the people's hair. It's just almost flying perpendicular, so it's really it was a most unusual weather conditions at the time that we were here. I mean, it gives you a great overview of Athens and the surrounding area. I would say that the Parthenon and the Erechtheum are probably the two most spectacular, and then the Athena Nike. And yes, that's where Nike gets its name from. And interesting too, Amazon. I mean, this is the Amazon women. I thought they came from the Amazon forest, but it originated from these concepts. I mean, in the Parthenon was a massive sculpture of Athena, gold-leafed with ivory. I couldn't even begin to get into all of the history. I think there are far more qualified people to tell you about the history of this place. This is really just a video to give you a lay person's viewpoint on what you might expect if you and when you come to this site. I would say that it wasn't terribly crowded when we were here, so it wasn't so bad. It does seem like the place absorbs a lot of people, and that's a good thing because it's spread out enough that you don't feel that you're totally inundated with people. Although I will say that when we were leaving, there certainly were a lot more people coming, and we're here in June, so that's also kind of the beginning of the tourist season, so not quite in the height. That's Plaka, that's the neighborhood that we were staying in. So there are two entrances. There is the west entrance, which is what you saw me coming in on, and then there is the southeast entrance, which is lower down on the hill, and that is the one, that's probably the recommended one to come to, because you're going to see a video of at the end of the video that there's just not nearly as many people there. So given the choice, I would go to the lower entrance. You do have a little bit more climbing to do, but even to get up to the main entrance, you still have to climb through the neighborhood streets, so it's not as if one is lower than the other. You kind of start at both levels. It's just the other one is probably the main entrance is probably a little bit more gradual. However, if you go through the the southeastern entrance, you will go through a few other archaeological artifacts on the way up to the main site. It looks like they still have an awful lot of renovation to do on this site. There's a lovely theater. I think the back part of it was Roman built. This is all renovated. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video. This is the other entrance, the less busy, and you'll see we're probably here midday and there's absolutely no line. So this is clearly the better route to go. All right, we'll see you.